Right, next shelf we have Beyond the Clouds 1 to 4. That is up to date, I think. It does not release very often. I've only read the first couple. It's very, very pretty and gives me like Studio Ghibli vibes, especially like the sort of premise is the girl falls from the sky, so it's kind of like Castle in the Sky into a junk heap as well. As we have Manga 1, 4, 5 and 6, I am fairly certain this series is out of print, but we did manage to get one more volume. It's complete at 6, so I'd only be missing volume 2 and 3, but I'm not holding my breath. And has been reading all the other works by this mangaka, so I was really, really keen to try and read this one, but I think at this point we're just going to try and hope that they do sort of a reprint fancy version like they did with Night Sidonia and like Blam. As we have BL Metamorphosis 1, 2, 3 and 5. I am just missing volume 4, and that is a complete series at 5 volumes, so yeah, just missing the one. Haven't started reading it yet. Everyone keeps telling me it's super wholesome, so I do want to get into it. As we have Birds of Shangri-La 1 and 2, and that is the wrong way around. I actually read these super duper recently because I started reading more BL and I was told to read these. I wasn't that bothered though. I think what I found is not many of the Sublime series I've been that bothered by. I've enjoyed BL by literally any other publisher. I don't know what it is about the types of stories that they publish, but none of them have really been my kind of thing. I think sometimes the like stories are like too real for like the relationships feel too real, and it's sort of a problem I generally have with romance genre. If they feel too real, I get a bit bored. I want stupid crazy drama. But I do think that's up to date. I think there is more coming. I don't think that's complete, just it doesn't release very often. Then we have Bite Maker 1 to 9. That is up to date. I don't think we're actually got that many more volumes till it's complete. I think it is complete in Japan. I did enjoy this at the beginning because it was like crazy Omegaverse smutty trash, but I feel like further into the series I've gone a bit more off it. I'm kind of getting annoyed at everyone. This volume wasn't even plastic wrapped. There wasn't anything smutty in it to make it plastic wrapped, so it just didn't have it. So I'm kind of happy that it's approaching an end because I'm just a bit bored now at this point, which is a shame because I really liked it at the beginning. Then we have Blackbird 1 to 18, and this is another questionable series. I haven't finished reading it. I got most of them second hand for like only a few pounds each, which is excellent. None of them in that bad condition either, even though I'm fairly certain some of the parcels these came in like got left in the rain because of postal service. Next we have Black Butler. So we have 1 to 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 16, 17. This is a very hard to find series, and even if you do, it's very expensive, so I am just like randomly grabbing them when I see them secondhand. I'm fairly sure I'm only picking them up secondhand at this point. Slowly but surely, I've only read the first few because I actually didn't get some of these earlier volumes till quite recently-ish, but I'm still missing loads. It's in the 30s, and I don't even have half. Next we have Black Clover. We've got 1 to 33, and that is up to date. We had quite a big gap between 32 and 33. I read 33 really recently. I do love Black Clover. This is the kind of like dramatic shonen battle stuff that I want. I just wish there wasn't such big gaps between volumes, and also maybe like a little bit of less battle, because I think we had like a chapter of stuff that wasn't battle-y, and then we were back to battle-y, and I'm like, I need some, it just, yeah, but it's still always really, really good, and it's, damn, like, I want to complain, but also not at the same time. I feel like this is approaching an end, as is a lot of Shonen Jump stuff. If it hasn't already, I have no idea. I do enjoy it. I don't really feel like I see many people talking about Black Clover anymore. I don't know if it's because it's not releasing as quickly anymore. It's a bit more sporadic. Don't know. Next we have Black Lagoon 3, 7 and 8, and I did start to pick this up really, really recently because there aren't many Viz things I don't have anymore. All three of these were second-hand, pretty cheap. I want to say even less than £4 a volume. I think I've picked up volume 1 and I'll be getting it for Christmas. Apparently it's on hiatus and it's like 11, 12 volumes-ish. Oh dear, let's move the Among Us. Next we have Black or White 1 to 5. I don't know if that's up to date. Most of these I have gotten second-hand, apart from the first one which I bought in store, and that is still plastic wrapped. I have not started reading it. I actually got these again pretty recently. I've gone on like such a secondhand binge this year. I've got some right random stuff because of it. Especially during the golden days of WoB when we could stack discount codes and get like 50% off or something crazy. So that's probably where a good chunk of this year's mangas come from. And next we have Black Torch 1 to 5, and that is complete. I haven't finished reading it yet though. A series that was cancelled from a lot of people's consensus before its time as well. Apparently it was really good and a lot of people are sad it got cancelled. Next we have Blackguard 1 to 5, and that's a complete series. I haven't finished reading it. I wasn't really sold with the first few volumes. Just didn't really enjoy the story that much. Next we have Black Rose Alice 1 to 3. That is not complete. I think there are more volumes, but it is a very hard series to find. These are all secondhand copies that I randomly found on eBay, World of Books, and Amazon, I want to say. Next we have Blade of the Moon Princess Volume 1. I do think the next volume is out now. It's the same manga artist as Spy Family. This, I believe, actually completes at 5 volumes, which surprised me because I feel like the story set up in volume 1 was like building up to something that would last way longer than 5 volumes. So I'm a bit confused and concerned, I think, by that. If we have Blank Canvas, My So-Called Artist Journey 1 to 5, it's a complete series. Really enjoy it, definitely recommend if you can get all 5, but please do read them together, don't leave gaps between reading them like I did. Then we have Bleach, and a mess of stuff. So we have Bleach 1 to 17, 18 to 61. This was actually given to me by someone I used to work with. And 62 to 74, so that is Bleach complete. Do you like this little Winnie? My sister made this. I did manage to complete it a couple of years ago. I've still not caught up with continued reading yet, but Ben has started reading it now that he's finished Naruto, so I think he's probably going to overtake me and potentially finish Bleach next year, 2024, whatever this video goes up, but I still have a way to go. Next we have Blitz 1 and 2, and these were Ben's volumes technically. This is a chess manga published by a Blaze manga. It really bothers me that the text goes this way. The spine feels like it's the wrong way round, but the numbers suggest it needs to go this way compared to like all other manga. Hey ho! Ben went on a big chess binge thing for a few months earlier in the year, so he was really enjoying these. As we have Blood Lad 1 to 8, that is almost complete. I just need the volume 9. Really happy to have a clear run. Most of these I paid like £4 for, apart from 7 and 8, which I found in a store in Hull and did pay retail price for. I know. But it's an almost complete series. I don't know. Someone said that these might be getting reprints. But otherwise these are quite hard to find, but someone I think did say to me it looks like they were getting reprints, but don't again hold me to that. As we have Bloody Sweet, and this is a manhwa now published by Yempress once again, and I've said this a few times in my videos. I don't understand how Yempress decides to do a manhwa. Does it get the Ise press or does it get the Yempress imprint? I'd love to know. If you know, please let me know. I'm so curious to know why. But this was interesting. It kind of had like two sort of stories to it. One where the girl has met this vampire and she's kind of now his mistress and he's like hiding in her house. And also some like story going on around the characters, the girl at school. And it's kind of neat seeing the two sides of the story with the shared character in the middle. Looking forward to more of that. And then we have Bloom Into You Volume 1. This is the only volume of Bloom Into You I have. It's 9 volumes long. Believe it's out of print. So I haven't started reading it in hope. It's meant to be a really good GL. Have I got a dice stuck in it? Yeah, I did have a dice stuck in it. It's meant to be really, really cute. Just probably going to try and hold off to see if I randomly see them secondhand still. Yes, we have Blue Box 1 to 6, and that is mostly up to date as of when I'm now recording. I absolutely adore this cover. Volume 5 cover, the whole pink and blue two-tone. I think that's super pretty. I am not up to date with reading it. I read the first couple again, I want to say. It was okay. It's a slice-of-lifey, sporty rom-com kind of deal-rooney. It's fine. I quite like badminton, which is one of the sports focuses in the series. So that's fun. Next we have Blue Exorcist, and finally, as of about a month ago, I have managed to have a clear run and get up to date. I was missing volume 7 and volume 14 for the absolute longest time. I could not find them for more than less than triple retail, and absolutely not. And then 7 popped up secondhand and 14 popped up secondhand. So excellent. Now I have a clear run all the way to 727, though I feel like 28 might have come out. It doesn't release often at all in the slightest. I want to say it's every other year maybe. And it's just taken me this long to complete it that actually there is another volume out. Or I'm horrendously wrong and I'm talking shit. I do want to say though, so many of these volumes are secondhand, but I wonder, can you tell, apart from me saying 7 and 14, because that's cheating, can you tell which other ones are secondhand? Because I feel like you can't. Because even I'm I only know 2 others I know I got secondhand. Maybe I should do that with the others, look at this, can you tell which ones are secondhand? Except we have Blue Flag 1 to 8, that is complete. I did enjoy the series until the ending. I know a lot of people, the ending is really controversial on if you like it or not. I'm in the mind of, I wasn't surprised, I kind of assumed that's what was going to happen, but I didn't like the whole, there was no explanation, there was no, I feel like we needed another few volumes to guide us to how it happened. And I understand the author's note at the back was that was kind of the point I was going for, and it's that's great, that's the point you were going for, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't I felt like I was baited. But it felt like it was going towards that anyway, so when it didn't, it was oh, okay, I guess. And then 3 pages later, it was oh, okay. Well, why? Why would you... Anyway. And next we have 1 volume of Blue Giant 5/6 hiding in there. I got this ages ago on sale at Blackwell's. I want to say it was $6.99, which is much cheaper than its RRP. It won't have a pound RRP on it, but I want to say it's £16-17 maybe. Next we have Blue Lock 1 to 9, and that is almost up to date because I think I'm getting volume 10 for Christmas or around Christmas time. I really, really like Blue Lock, but I am not a fan of football. I have been to football matches. They are cold, and that is all I can remember of them. I'm not particularly bothered, to be fair, but I love reading about Blue Lock because it does not feel like I'm reading about football. It feels like I'm reading just a battle shonen, with people powering up and having their secret skills and their 1 + 1 = 100 or something. 2. I don't. It's so over the top and silly, and I love it. And I love we've got these really bright, vibrant spines. I showed you a grey one, ooh, bright, vibrant. But all the earlier ones, especially, because it's the same colour on the cover, they're all just so bright. And then we got this black one. I was oh. But then we started going back to bright colours, and I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with them. And so with Blue Period 1 to 13, that is up to date. It's been a long time since we had another volume of Blue Period. I am not up to date with reading them. I want to say I'm a couple of volumes behind. I do like Blue Period. I'm not massively into art itself. Just, again, kind of like football. I'm just not that bothered. But reading about it in this is so interesting, and reading about different techniques and different types of art and different periods in art and everything. All of that's been really interesting to read about, which I think is really neat when a manga does that, when it's you've got a topic that ordinarily you would probably just completely gloss by, but then reading it in this format actually still manages to get you engaged and interested. I think it's such a credit to the mangaka that they've managed to do that. So yeah, excellent. Boarding School Juliet 1 to 16, and I finally managed to complete this series as well. So that is complete, 16 volumes. Once again, got my missing volumes recently. I think it was 10 and 12. I got them on Sci-Fi, I want to say. It was a cute series, but yeah, I've been blocked while I try and get the last volumes I need. It's kind of just, again, as it says, Romeo and Juliet, but in a boarding school. And there's 2 factions in the school. Yeah. And that's it. Okay, next we have Botchy The Rock. Now, I don't know how controversial my opinion is, but I didn't think the manga of this was that good. I do talk about it a whole bunch more in one of my reading vlogs. So basically, Yen Press did give this to me very kindly, which does also always, I feel like it's always difficult when you're given free things, free books and stuff, and your initial reaction is, well, I want to be kind about it. For the most part, I would say I am. I don't want to lie, and I understand that most of the time it is just my opinion. and everyone has different opinions. That's completely fine. So basically, this is about a person whose name I forgot. Hitori Goto. She wants to make friends, but is painfully awkward. But she's really, really good at guitar, and makes videos on YouTube about her playing guitar, and she's really, really popular. She'd love to play in a band, but she's just too awkward to try and manage that herself. And she basically ends up meeting other people, and they form a band, the four of them. Some of my issues with it in the manga is, first off, I was quite surprised to see it was a full coma. Now, I don't mind full coma myself, but for this story, I did find it a bit of a drag and hard to get through. Another thing is, I found it really difficult to tell some of the characters apart. As you can see here, now there is like a slightly darker grey, but otherwise they do look very, very similar, and all the girls look fairly similar. Now obviously, if you're watching the anime, which I understand has done really well, it's not a big deal because they all have very, very different bright coloured hair, but obviously you can't see that in the manga. It's just black and white. And I think as well, like, some of the big moments like this where she just really rocks out on the guitar, it doesn't really have quite the same impact in a manga as it would do in an anime, because you can't hear the music, and it's, as I said with like anonymous noise, I think it's just a downside of reading a music themed series, which, yeah. I think this might all just be me. I think I went in with really high expectations because I knew of this. So many people talk about it. Everyone loves the anime. So I went in expecting such great things, and then I was a bit let down reading it. I did start to enjoy it more towards the end. It felt like it was actually working towards like story and progression by the end of the volume. But I just kind of wished it started a bit earlier, and also it was a bit more easy to tell the characters apart. Really. I think sometimes that's just an issue I have with these series where all the characters are like young women, young girls. They all just end up looking quite similar. There's just all this really like cutesy face, and I'm like, I don't know who's who. Wait. Volumes 1 and 2 of Bodacious Space Pirates. I think that is complete, but I have not yet read it. Both of them were secondhand. Bofurry, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense 1 to 6, and that might be up to date. It's a fun isekai, a video game isekai, where she plays game, and yeah, she maxes out her defense, and she gets insanely OP because of that. Nothing can hit her. It's really fun, cute. It's another one where it's an all-female cast, but I think it's less bad, because they tend to have quite, like, dramatic armour, which makes it easier to tell them apart, and also Bofurry always has a shield. Wait, is that a name? That's not a name. Maple? Is her name Maple? I don't know where I've got Maple from. Yeah, it says Maple on that. But who's Bofurry again? Next we have Bushi Royale 1 to 10, and I think that is up to date. Though there was at one point an 11-12. I'm not sure what's happened with that one because I moved and changed some of my pre-orders around. This series actually did, I want to say, get cancelled, / the mangaka decided to stop because his family found out what he was drawing, I think. It's very, very degenerate, questionable, has most red flags that you can think of in a explicit series with a very boobage woman. She's a very, very naive person. Thank goodness she is very skilled in martial arts. It is kind of a compelling read still, sometimes. Though there's about 1 or 2 pages per volume so far where you're like, did I what? Yeah. Especially the one with the armadillo. Is we have Boruto 1 to 17. I am actually a bit behind on this one, but Ben is fully up to date because he is a better person than I am. I don't quite get all the hate Boruto tends to get. Is it just because I feel like Boruto it isn't the same as Naruto, but it's still fun, but it's not the same. I didn't think it was like that hated or people were not that crazy about it. Damn lights. I think what I find a bit weird is how different the art style seems to be, but I don't think that's a Boruto only thing. If you read Naruto, there's such a difference from the beginning of Naruto to the end of Naruto in terms of lines. I think they definitely get a lot like cleaner and smoother, and there's more white space used by the end of Naruto compared to the start. And I kind of prefer the start, like, scratchiness a bit more, which is really rare for me. I tend to be really, really picky and not like scratchiness, but maybe it's just a nostalgia thing because Naruto was one of my first reads ever. Boruto doesn't come out all that often. I want to say maybe twice a year, maybe even a little less frequent than that. Next we have Boys Abyss 1 to 3. I do think 4 might be out now. Boys Abyss is such a dark read. All the characters are not having a good time or are terrible people. It is plastic wrapped for a reason. There is many red flags in the series. It's very questionable. I do think it's still a compelling read. I wouldn't say it's a happy read. I definitely didn't feel happy by the end of volume 1. It's set in like a small town somewhere in Japan, and it's all about the kids saying, oh, we're gonna get out the village, we're gonna make it, we're gonna go live somewhere else. And the prodigy kid is trapped at home because he's kind of having to care for his ill grandmother, and his mother's struggling, and his brother is a brat, and everyone's like, you can get out, and he's like, no, I can't, I'm stuck. And then some right questionable stuff happens when he meets a girl who works at the corner store, and it keeps going from there. So I think volume 2 got more questionable than volume 1. And next we have the box in 1 to 3, and I am a bit behind on this because I know volume 4 is out. So far this has been one of my least favourite Ise Press series, so this year I tried to make a real effort to make sure I read at least the volume 1 of all my Ise Presses. So this is one I read. I think this has been one of my least favourites so far, but I think I've not been massive on any of the Ise Press that are a bit more slice of lifey, but I think this might be the only one. I'm just such a sucker for fantasy. I'm so sorry, but I am. I don't think it was necessarily bad, but there were a few bits in the first volume where I struggled to read because there was quite dark pages with dark text, and I just couldn't read it, and I got a bit mad and a bit pissy about that, which put me off. As we have Box of Light volume 1, I am behind on this, though I think my friend said she had a spare copy that she might give me for volume 2. I wasn't massive on this series. It's kind of pretty, and I really quite liked the cover. I think the cover is definitely draws you in, but I wasn't too keen on the storyline. I'm not even sure if it made me sad or I just found it a bit dull. So it's meant to be set in a convenience store, a corner store that is on the crossroads between life and death, and every chapter is about someone who's come to the store who's on the verge of life and death, and the question is which way do they go, and why have they ended up in the store? So it's not it's quite a dark topic anyway. Just not a massive fan, to be honest. Next we have Boy Meets Maria. That's a one-shot volume. I have not yet read it. And we have Boys Over Flowers 18. That's the only one I have, and I saved it from a shop because it was stuck at the bottom of a massive pile of volumes, and it was getting crushed. I think I only paid a couple pounds for it though. Do I think I'll be able to find the rest? No. Would I love to? Yes, because apparently it's a reverse harem, which... never mind. And next we have Boys Run the Riot 1 to 4, and that's complete. I actually think I read all 4 volumes in one day. It was a really good read. It was a very compelling read, once again. What I didn't like was I found the kids a bit annoying. I found them a bit the world owes us kind of attitude, which just kind of grated on me a little bit. And I think it took away, for me, it took a little bit away from their struggles and what they were trying to discover about themselves. But I think part of it is just they are just teenagers, and teenagers can just be a little bit bratty, and yeah. But I think it's still good, just I personally was oh, kids these days. Next we have The Breaker, and I only have the first volume of this, though I think it might be finished now. I think there's 5 of these, another one by Ablaze Manga. In fact, I think there is actually a box set you can get. I've only read half of this volume. I don't remember why I stopped, but it actually reminded me a little bit of Great Teacher Onizuka, or at least what I've read of this and what I've read of Great Teacher Onizuka. It felt kind of similar. This is a manhwa, not a manhwa though. Manhwa, not a manga though, not manhwa. Oh, I'm getting confused. Next we have Breasts Are My Favourite Things in the World 1 to 6. That might be up to date now. This is a really kind of cute GL series. I think I would recommend it. It is plastic wrapped and you do see a lot of gropage of boobs, if you're fine with that. It's mostly just about this character who loves boobs but is very flat-chested, so comes to an arrangement with this girl who is not flat-chested to let her grope them. And look, just look how happy she is. It's very cute, and it gets cuter as their relationship develops throughout the volumes. As we have Bride Story 1 to 4, 6 and 13. I think 13 or 14 is the recent volume. Most of these have been secondhand or daily deals apart from volume 1, which I did pick up in store, and I was quite impressed to see it at $12.99 considering it's a hardback. All hardbacks. A good number of these I've paid about £5 for. Daily deals one might have been a little bit more, but I was really surprised to see it at $12.99 considering manga prices be crazy nowadays, and that just caught me by surprise. Maybe it was mispriced, but I don't care. It's fine, I got it. Next we have some Bungo Stray Dogs 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, and Stray Dogs Beast 4, and Stray Dogs Dazai Chuya age 15 1. So I've had this for a while. This series is just like tricky to find. I managed to find these in the Travelling Man sale. Actually, I found all of these in the Travelling Man sale and they were £3 each. This one was very kindly sent to me by Yen Press. This is, I think, the only one I've held off reading, just because I kind of want to read more of the main series before I start reading spin-offs. And for that, I need to just be able to find more of the main series. I have seen volumes pop up on Sci-Fi, so I think I just need to grab them, to be fair. Next we have Burn the Witch. It says volume 1, but I don't think there's been any other volumes out. I believe this is set in the same universe as Bleach, so I have held off reading it because I have not read my Bleach. Ben will probably once again get there before me. Next we have Business Proposal, which is an Ise Press series. This I really enjoy. It is very similar in my mind to What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, in that rich guy who runs business starts dating female co-worker-ish, or there is romance blossoming between female co-worker. Now the difference in this one is they're inadvertently set up. She goes in place of a friend whose parents are trying to set her up with him, and she pretends to be her friend so they can not... Her friend's parents can get off her back, basically. Except something does start to blossom between them. Volume 3 is out, but I do not yet have it. It's a very fun read. I enjoy it. It's unnecessary, wonderful drama, which is what I like. Then we have By the Grace of the Gods 1 to 5. I am very behind on this now. I'm not even sure I've picked up any new volumes this year. Square Enix volumes have gotten so expensive. I pretty much am just now going to wait for secondhand or sale sections or daily deals, that kind of stuff. It's an okay isekai. I would put it like middle, average. It's okay, which makes it even worse with these prices. It's like, it's not worth that. It's worth like £4 or £5 a volume, maybe. Right, then we have Cage of Eden, 2, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So I actually picked these up like literally last week, and I went crazy in the Forbidden Planet Lead sale section. Look at that, £3.50, and that was £3.50 volume, and now I have 12 volumes of the series. I'm missing so many singles, but in my experience, singles tend to be more easy than later volumes in the series. Do I know anything about it? No. Did I grab it because it was on sale? Yes, I did. So now I'm at least going to try and find at least volume 1 on World of Books or something, because I feel like that's probably where I'd find it best. Especially since it's got the old Caketinz logo, that's probably an older series. Next we have Call Girl in Another World 1 to 7. I think I am now a bit behind now. I do think it's complete at 9 volumes, so not much more left. This is a surprisingly light-hearted read, considering the topic. It's about a woman who is previously worked in this industry on Earth, and now she starts working in the same industry in another world, and she quite enjoys it and gets on with everyone, and it's kind of cutesy and lovely and sweet, but it's still plastic wrapped and explicit, but it's amusing. So we have Call the Name of the Night 1 to 12. I wasn't a massive fan of what I've read so far, to the point that I'm not really staying completely up to date with releases. In fact, I started picking them up secondhand because it's reached that point where I've left it long enough that I'll see them secondhand. So volume 12 I think I only got really recently from World of Books, but it's still in pretty good condition. Next we have Call the Name of the Night 1 and 2, and I am getting volume 3 for Christmas. Volume 1 was originally sent to me by Press. It is super duper pretty, absolutely gorgeous. Reminds me of like Witch Hat Atelier kind of art. Cute, pretty. I mean, look at that back cover, isn't that just gorgeous? Oh, so pretty. So basically this main character has a problem to do with darkness, and she's currently staying with this doctor who's trying to help her get better, basically, or at least help her stabilize, I think. Right, next we have Call to Adventure, defeating dungeons with a skill board. So this isn't an isekai. Let's pull it up. This is an isekai. It's kind of like solo leveling in that dungeons have started appearing all over Earth, and people now go into the dungeons and gather materials and stuff. And this guy managed to find a skill board which can make him overpowered. And that's about it, really. It's not like overly intense. It's a fun fantasy read, and it's got like the skill boards and skill trees and stuff that I like about isekai, even though it's not an isekai. Next we have Candy and Cigarettes 1 and 2. I haven't started reading it, and I am now behind, and I have absolutely no idea what it's about. Next we have Candy Color Paradox Volume 1, and I grabbed this in a sci-fi daily deal as part of my trying to find more BL that I enjoy. I haven't yet read it. I think there's quite a few volumes though, so I'm nowhere near up to date. As we have Captain Corinth. The Galactic Navy officer becomes an adventurer 1 to 3. I once again have not yet read my copies. I actually think it is an isekai. I got 2 and 3 really recently, once again in Forbidden Planet retail section for £6 a volume. Next we have Captivated by You, which I believe is a one-shot, and I picked this up in the Travelling Man warehouse sale for £3. It's a bit more tricky to find, so I was quite happy to see it. Still has a bit of like sticker residue on the spine I need to clean off. I couldn't fully get it off, so I left it for now. Then we have Captain Harlock 1 to 9. I am missing volume 10 before it's complete. That's one for Ben. I think Ben's going to enjoy that one when he gets to it. Most of these I picked up in HMV for I think $4.99 each, and then I managed to get 2 ones I was missing secondhand on Sci-Fi. And then we have some Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card, volumes 1, 9, 10 and 11. I know, super duper random, they have been all bought second hand, I think, for like a few pounds each. And I am slightly collecting the main series, but because it's a big A4 hardback, I have that stored somewhere else. Thank you so much for joining me for part 2 of the manga collection tour. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in part 3.